Hello and welcome everyone to another discussion video. Today I wanted to do something a little different. Instead of starting a dialogue on what things could be improved or added to Final Fantasy XIV, I thought we could take some time to express the things that we're happy with as they are in the game. After all, it's important to let the team know what they're doing right so they can continue doing it as much as it is to let them know when they miss the mark. Now, before anyone goes off on a tangent about this being a way to suck up to the devs, consider this. For every good thing you take for granted, there are those out there who are probably criticizing the same stuff on other videos, forums, social media, and so on. It's good that they're doing so, but if we also don't talk about the things we enjoy from time to time, the negative feedback can easily seem dominant. Another reason I'm calling attention to this is because I believe it takes something very good to happen for someone to give the same amount of positive feedback than one would normally give over a mild inconvenience in the other direction. But you may be asking, is another reason I'm doing this because I've been pestering the official Final Fantasy XIV English Twitter about adding my most desired mounts to the game over the past couple weeks? Of course not. Okay, maybe. But come on, they'd be so cool. In any case, here are 4 things I'm very happy about within the game, right after I talk about something else that I'm thankful for. Today's sponsor, Boxu. If you've been watching this channel for the past year, you're all too familiar with Boxu at this point, and that's because many of you keep buying boxes from them, which means they keep asking me to do more videos for them. And I'm certainly not complaining, since that means I keep getting box after box each month of authentic artisanal Japanese snacks from Japan. Each month has a new theme with new items, some of which I've never heard of before. This month's theme is Pink Valentine, perfect for you last-minute gift buyers. And while you have your classic Valentine sweets like the Azuki chocolate, there's savory flavors as well, such as the spicy mini heart senbei. Whatever treats tickle your taste buds, Boxu comes through. Use the link in the description to get your order started, and code DRAK10 at checkout for 10% off your subscription. Now back to the video. First, speaking of mounts, my all-time favorite mount is one I requested years ago on the official forums, being the Black Pegasus. It was first seen as a boss in Soar Kai, and I immediately fell in love with the design. I asked for it to be added in through whatever means necessary, be it in hard mode content or the cash shop. Now, many are understandably opposed to cash shops in pay-to-play games, but I don't mind supporting the devs a little extra. To everyone's benefit, however, it was included as an extremely rare drop from the Palace of the Dead from one of the gold-trimmed sacks you can find from floors 150 to 199. What makes it trickier is that if you fail a set of 10 floors, you'll lose any and all trimmed sacks you acquired during those 10 floors, even if you've gotten to the boss. This mount was a long time coming, and it took a very long time to get a group together that was willing to put in time for multiple runs. I think we got to floor 190 3 to 4 times and completed floor 200 twice. After all that effort though, it finally paid off, and I use this mount even more now than my Rathalos, and it's all thanks to the dev team taking that request along with others into consideration. And also to let them know I will put in the effort to get the mounts if they actually add them into the game. So please just add them into the game. Second, I want to reiterate my gratitude for the recent monk changes. The Blitz system is unique, gives me something to think about during fights, and has ended up being really flexible, at least to me. It's been very fun to learn and even more satisfying to pull off. Plus, the animations we get now for the finishing moves are amazing. It's exactly what I've been asking for years, and I'm really happy with the state of it. I could go on and on about this, but I'll save it for another video sometime. Long story short though, this was awesome. Third, Samurai's new kit is actually very enjoyable. I'd say it's quite a bit simpler than Monk in my opinion, but I've been thoroughly enjoying it in the current extreme trials. It's honestly like they looked at Samurai and went, what makes this job fun, then just gave us a bunch more of it. More Tsubame Gaishi, more Meikyo Shisui, which both basically translate to way more Midari Setsugeka. And of course the new Ogi Nami Kiri, which activates all my neurons at once. I think this is the first time I've been genuinely excited to watch an ability come off cooldown. Before, Ikishoten was, oh cool, I get more Kenki, but now you get an extremely high potency attack that has underlying base and that camera shake that makes it feel absolutely beefy. Now, I mentioned earlier that the things I enjoy can be the very subject of another's criticism, and this just so happens to be one of those things. Yoshi P unfortunately had to rebuke some of the JP player base over their vitriol over Samurai because they believed it feels too much like a caster now or something to that effect. I, on the other hand, couldn't disagree more. Samurai has always had these cast times with the Iaijutsu, but they've always felt more like a wind-up than a cast time, if that makes sense. It's got a great sense of build-up leading to, in my opinion, a very satisfying payoff, and I'm personally glad we get to see more of it. The criticism of others is just as valid, mind you, because they simply enjoy the game differently. I would still like the dev team to know, however, that there are those of us who really enjoy how Samurai is playing now. Like, a lot. You'll definitely be seeing me bounce back and forth between Samurai and Monk during Savage raids. Finally, keeping with the job changes and additions, I'm very happy with Reaper, as I think most people are. The actual reason I'm adding it to this list, however, is because it adds playstyle variety that I think should be kept in mind for future job designs. What I mean is that now we have an array of different melee jobs that each play at different paces and have their own flair and strengths. It's always made me very nervous anytime people start criticizing Monk's high skill speed, because that's a big reason why I enjoy it so much. Instead of changing current jobs on the whims of new or lesser skilled players, no offense, really, I would prefer nudging them towards slower, more straightforward jobs. The implementation of Reaper gives me hope that they're willing to commit a bit more to having that kind of spectrum. It's a common feature in many different games to have a difficulty rating on different jobs and characters to inform new players what they're getting into. And while something being common doesn't automatically mean it's good, I think it's beneficial when implemented this way. Of course, not everyone views difficulty the same way, but even basing it off skill speed or abilities per minute would be a good start. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into a suggestion, but I also really hope they don't tune any jobs down because newer players haven't built themselves up to handling them yet. Unless the jobs in question, of course, are intended to be on the simpler side. And that's all I've got right now. There's plenty more I'm really enjoying about the game, of course, but I've taken a lot of it for granted, so it's hard for anything that isn't brand spanking new to jump out at me at the moment. But that's where you all come in. Whatever you've been enjoying or appreciating, be sure to leave a comment below so your voice can be heard. And do try to save any critiques or suggestions of the game for another time, as I make videos specifically for that purpose. Any suggestions for me, however, on how I might improve this format are welcomed. Thank you again to the Final Fantasy XIV team for their efforts. Thank you everyone here for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next one.